Woohoo! Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? So in just a second, we're gonna go surfing and I'm gonna do a Q&A, answer some of your guys' really common questions. But before that, I must admit that I am actually really tired and kind of pooped, exhausted from going to the carnival yesterday because there was a ton of different rides, and what really exhausted me is the blasting music and everyone screaming. Like you're just trying to talk to your friend and you can't even hear yourself. It was ridiculous. It's crazy. But all good. I think I've had enough craziness to last me a good amount of time, so I don't think we'll need to go to any of those in the near future. But I did get banged up a little bit at that yesterday. Got some boo-boos on my elbows, but no big deal. Nothing too bad. And yeah, go surfing, answer some questions, some Q&As, and see what else we do. Silk asks, I'm just getting started. By the way, I love Canada. Should I get a G7X or a T5i? Alright, the first DSLR that I ever got was the T5i, and the second point and shooter camera that I got was the G7X. Now, they're both good cameras, but depending on what you're going to be filming mostly, I think if you're going to be more like out vlogging, I think the G7X would be better. But if you're going to be maybe have your camera on a tripod most of the time, I would go with the T5i, because then you can have an external microphone as well as change lenses. JR Bariqua 7 asks, what kind of tree was the one you climbed? To me, it looked like an avocado tree. Well, the two common types of trees that I climb down here in Costa Rica are almendra trees as well as mango trees. They're two really common trees, but also they're not too difficult to climb compared to some of these other ones that are like covered in these very dangerous spikes. Don't want to climb those. Surviving Cadet. What lens do you use? Well, the wide angle lens that I usually use when I'm using a DSLR is the 10 to 22 millimeter, and it's an aperture of 3.5 to 4.5. But also the other lens that I use a lot is the 18 to 135 millimeter lens. That lens is good because it has a little bit more of a zoom, so if I want to get close-ups, then I use that lens. Luka Radosavljevic. Hey Atua, is the Canon 700D any good? Alright, 700D is just another name, or it's otherwise known as the T5i, and the T5i was actually the first DSLR that I got. Yeah, it's a really good camera. It may not have the best autofocus, but you can definitely get really good footage. I think using manual, you'll get even better footage. But what I like is you can have different lenses, but you can also have an external microphone. I usually use a separate microphone so that I can have like better audio if maybe it's really windy out. Brent O'Mara, what do you edit on? Alright, I've already made an entire video dedicated to kind of my workflow and how I edit my videos and just like all that stuff. So if you want to check out that video, I'll leave it down below in the description. Sky, Earth, Ocean. Hey Atua, where do you find royalty-free soundtracks for your videos? Thanks. Alright, the website that I use now is called AudioBlocks, and you do have to pay, you can pay like an annual fee, but what I like about AudioBlocks is if I get a copyright on one of my videos for using one of their songs, I can file kind of a dispute to them, and they'll take care of it really quickly. So that's one of the things that I like. Whereas if you just use like random songs, you can sometimes get copyrighted and you can sometimes have problems. Iggy Nord, do you know if insects sleep? I honestly don't really know if insects sleep. I'm guessing. I don't know. Insects are kind of strange. I'm sure there's some that sleep and maybe some that don't, but I don't know. Revo Dagaswara, what mount do you use for that mountain bike clip? Was it a gimbal? Yes, recently Removu sent me their gimbal, Removu S1, and I have used it on my past few videos for mountain biking. But before that, I would sometimes use a mouth mount, or maybe I'd mount it to my helmet, or I'd use a chest mount. But yeah, I'm liking the gimbal very much because I can get like this smooth footage when I'm like going on maybe really like bumpy terrain. So that's what I've been using lately. X Raining Gaming X. Hey Tua, please reply. Can the Canon G7X record at 60 frames per second? Yes, indeed it can. It can film at full HD at 60 frames per second, so that's pretty good for if you're looking to do somewhat of slow-mos. Like you can't do 120 frames per second, which that would be really, really cool, but 60 frames per second is fairly good because you can get some cool, you can do some decent slow-mos. And then it also does 30 frames and 24 frames if you're looking for like how they film in like a film, or how they film, I guess, in a big production movie, if you'd like to call it that. Alright, that's it for this video, and today's positive quote is, don't look back, you're not going that way. Alright, what this quote means to me is that most of the time you shouldn't be looking behind you because if you want to be progressing. But listen to this. I think sometimes it is good to look backwards. For example, if you're surfing and I go to do a cutback, I have to look backwards as I do the cutback to do a rebound, and then I'm going to come out of it with more speed. So this could actually totally be an example of something that could happen in just like normal life. Maybe you're making lots of progress, but then you take a few steps backwards, but then it's going to maybe propel you or like give you a boost to go make even more progress. So not always are you just going to be in like this like progressing phase, but sometimes you have to go backwards a little bit, but then you usually stop going backwards and then keep going forward. But you should try most of the time to just not to worry about maybe the past or like the stuff that has happened behind you. Sure if you can hear me, but if you can, I've been surfing for 3 hours. 3 hours. So tired, so tired. Remember to keep always doing awesome stuff, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, early in the morning.